Well, this is the first edition of a video blog kind of thing, replacing the usual written summations of the council meetings I do. The reason I haven't been updating the website is obvious, kind of. There's just not enough of you people who give a damn to make it worthwhile. So now I'm going to take this cheap shortcut and just do these 10-minute videos, and that'll be it. And we won't worry about the literate word, and we'll leave it at that for until interest compels me to do otherwise. So anyway, the last 3 meetings have really been boring, except for the questions I asked, of course. The council was pretty preoccupied in the 2 previous meetings over recreation junk. The zillions of dollars we end up spending on, all this, parkland and baseball fields, and it's not even the parkland. I mean, that everybody can use, but baseball and soccer are the real obsession. And so they're the 4 towns, or Inmendham Borough Township and the 2 Chesters, are trying to cooperate with each other to better maintain the fields and rest them and create more fields and all this junk. And somehow this is a public responsibility, which I don't entirely understand. It doesn't seem right to me. Property taxes are getting really out of control. I mean, to have a roof over your head, you got to pay a lot of money, and that's just wrong. And maybe this stuff should go, should be paid for on a real state budget, where people are going to be a lot more cynical and a lot more careful about approving such spending. But anyway, so that's what the meetings were all obsessed about. The only news, I guess, would be that there's talk of these artificial turf fields. They only cost $500,000 or so, and I guess the Chesters are pretty much on course to build one, with lights and such. And there's speculation that the high school wants to do the same similar thing here, but who knows? There's no real conversation about it. So at the last meeting, a point I got some notes here. The point I wanted to make on all these meetings is, the mayor starts the meeting with the silent prayer. He calls it a silent prayer. I mean, he really should be calling it a moment of silence. It's not supposed to be a damn prayer. But this is the contempt these people have for the idea of objective and fair and what's the right word? Government for all the people. I mean, it's definitely our local government is not for all the people. It is for a specific group of people who run in unopposed elections, and who basically just reinitiate each other and have a specific agenda. So anyway, there was the 2 budgets were the big issues. The sewage plant budget is, they're paying off more of their debt and interest, and that's one reason they're saying that's the need for the increase, which is going to be whatever it is, $60 for a quarter. And then the other part of it is the study versus and the repairs. Well, the preliminary repairs regarding the water infiltration into the sewage system. They haven't accomplished anything yet, and they've spent thousands of dollars studying the problem. And I don't even think they need to do that. I think they know where the problem areas are, and they ought to just get to work on it. So the next thing was the municipal budget, and it's slated to increase 12.6%, I think is the number. And some council members said, oh yeah, we got to relook at this and try to find some expenses to cut and the rest of it. Well, this really was more about the sewage budget, just because they make some comment about what expenses get charged to which budget, as if it matters. Or whether, the Phoenix house is paying sewage rates or not. I mean, what's the difference? I mean, it's such a small percentage of the overall cost. And obviously there are people who don't use the sewage plant, and so they, I guess, technically are entitled to the revenue the Phoenix house should be producing for the sewage plant, but I don't really think they're going to make a significant change in the budget with those kind of changes. And then there was also still talk about the senior discount, but obviously with price increases and then the rest of it, the senior discount is going to cost more money. But as most senior things in this town are, help for a very select group of people, it's probably something they can probably afford to do, because a small percentage of seniors will probably even be informed of the discount or some other racket, and but whatever. I mean, I have nothing against seniors, but they usually had kids, and they usually created budget problems in this town too, and having a discount that isn't based on income would be just idiotic. But who knows? We'll see what they come up with. There was an ordinance about signage, temporary signs you can put in front of your buildings, and council person Witzak abstained from voting. He's done this before. He doesn't voice any objection to something, and yet he doesn't vote. Very strange. So that's one thing. And then there was talk also they got this new parking lot behind Ward Sands, and so they have to create an ordinance, because it's only going to be dusk to dawn parking, and so they have to write an ordinance to prevent people from parking there overnight. And because of liability issues, they say, because they have to put lights on the parking lot if they allow parking after dark, and I don't really think that's true. But whatever. Of a T-Mobile cell tower, in 120 footer they want to put behind King's, and apparently that's still in the with the planning board. And like I said, the rest of this meeting, or maybe it was the previous meeting, it was the budget introduction, and the town's spending a lot of money, and I mean, it's a big increase. It's going to probably, when you add up the sewage plant and the town taxes and the school and the rest of it, it's $1,000 increase in your property taxes. And and what is it for? Well, $750,000 of it is going for stupid tennis courts at the high school. $750,000 for tennis courts, and you didn't have the will to vote against it when you had the chance to kill the school budget, and so that's what's going to happen. I mean, $250,000 of that is going to be spent just building proper retaining walls to prevent water infiltration, because they're putting it in a location where they're going to have water problems. And it's just, so that's pretty much all there is. I'll do a separate video for the questions I asked, because I've got some really funny answers this time around, and I really don't think there was anything else they talked about that meant anything. I heard somewhere, I don't know, I think somebody's going to try to propose or meet with the council, or make a proposition before the council about a skate park or something. It's been something talked about on the message board, but who took any of that seriously? So that might be interesting in the future. I guess that's it. I can't think of anything else that was significant in the meeting. Like I said, they've been really boring meetings. Hasn't been much conversation about anything, and certainly no details on the budget. So that's it for this time, and until next time, try to do this a little better. But it's really easy. See, it didn't take long at all. Didn't have to write any of it. It's a lot more fun.